Welcome in YouTube to another episode of Deliberations with DJ. Hope everyone's having a great day, and go ahead, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that sub button. So let's talk about Path of Exile. This game was good. I actually had a lot of fun in the game. You also saw me rage, which is something I don't tend to do often, but there are a few games out there that do give me the old rageroo. Thoughts on Path of Exile. Path of Exile is free. Path of Exile 2 is coming out, at least the beta is coming out in July, which means probably the end of this year, 2024. We'll probably see a Path of Exile 2. Things that I liked about this game. I did like the passive skill tree, even though it's huge. Don't let that dissuade you from playing this game. Think of it like when you're a kid and you're practicing puzzle like mazes. They tell you to start at the end and work your way back. Kind of figure that's a good way to do it, right? Figure where you want to try to end up and try to figure out a path back. I enjoyed that. I did. It did put, and it does. There is actual consequences to what you pick, right? It's not like Diablo where you have like a ton of gold and you can just keep respecing to make your build more viable. I like the fact that you do have to pay attention to loot. It doesn't give you a whole lot of loot, and you do kind of, for the first time in a long time, you actually have to use the vendors to buy, not just sell. Armor and weapons. I'm glad I found a build that worked for me. The other thing is, like, dying really doesn't matter, except that you will lose a ton of XP towards the next level, so it could push you back. So like if you're in a level and, like, say you're only like 500,000 away from progressing to the next tier up, right, and you continue to die on that map, you'll see it go from 500,000 to 1 million to 2 million, and it will just keep going until you get through it. So it does give purpose to rerunning the maps that you currently do. I personally recommend trying to stay at least 5 levels above the enemies. I believe like actually 7 was pretty good for me, especially if you're going to do like the labyrinth, which I definitely do recommend that you do. Run those, especially after you've leveled past the labyrinth level. So like the first labyrinth, I believe, was level 33, second one's 55. So if you're like, for the first one, if you're like a level 50 or like a level 40 even, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Make sure you get minions. Minions, in my opinion, were very helpful. It helped me stop dying. I don't know if it shows me how many times. I forgot to look that up. Let's look. I believe I died quite a bit. 3,000. That's what I'm thinking. Only 2,000. Only 2,007 times. So it is a punishing game. I equate this game kind of like the Tarkov of ARPGs. Some things are unnecessarily difficult. You just have to stick with it. Unfortunately, sometimes you just have to bang your head against the wall, and eventually you go bust through it and continue to progress. That's the kind of thing that I didn't like about this game. There isn't really like a world tier adjustment that you can do like you can in Diablo 4, where if like you're in world tier 3 and all of a sudden like it's become unmanageable, you can drop down to world tier 2 and still at least have fun and do some stuff. Again, the loot's not as good, but at least you stop dying over and over again, right? So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a great game. It's free. Path of Exile 2 is probably coming out towards the end of this year. We'll definitely give that a go. I'm very excited to see Last Epoch. Boots with movement are your friend in this game, especially if you can get like 30% increased movement. That would be pretty good. Classes kind of don't matter Like if I wanted to, I could have done a bow build. You don't have to be a ranger, which is kind of silly. I don't know like if there's other buffs you get for doing specific classes, but from the people that came into my chat, they kind of agreed like classes kind of don't matter. But Shadow was fun. I'm glad I picked it. You have to be careful not to have a glass cannon. You can get away with it for the first 2 acts, but after that, you got to really start putting like points into like the energy shield, into life. In fact, I can show you my skill tree. I didn't actually use a build. I started here, and as you can see, this is kind of like where I progressed. I actually refunded these claw points, and as you can see, I kind of just went in different places. I took a bunch of opportunities for life. Life leech is good. Eventually, you're going to need it. Just try not to get too overwhelmed. The internet, there's a ton of information out there on Path of Exile. There are a lot of good guides out there. There are people that are willing to help you if you want to look for it. Reddit was really good. There are a bunch of streamers out there. If you want, you can check them out. There's also the ability to trade. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I didn't explore that opportunity. But if you don't mind dealing with other people and you don't have trust issues, then be my guest. I would definitely give this an 8 out of 10. It would be a 9 out of 10 if it wasn't as punishing. And if you want to see the difference, go watch, like, say, Kokarnish from 6 years ago when he first played the first version of this game. At the Beacon, they didn't have the ghosts, so that makes things a whole lot easier. But it is what it is. It is satisfying to finally beat the game. Again, when you get over those humps, it really does help. I finished, I think, at level 71. Yeah, so my advice is try to always stay 5-7 levels ahead, and you'll probably do all right. You're gonna have to continually switch your equipment, whatever you're using, like weapons and gear, to stay with where you are leveled wise. Try to pick some skills early that you want to like consistently level, as far as like gems. Like Cobra Lash was like one of my big ones, and then finally Bladefall was another one. Frostblink was very good for me. Those are like my big 3. And then adding like Raise Zombie and Summon Stone Golem really did help. There's a lot to read in this game. You have to pay attention. Just try to stay with it, and you should be fine. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I had fun, and I'm looking forward to the last epoch. I'm really enjoying ARPGs. I think this could be a path on our channel. Let's see. If you like this episode, go ahead and give it a like. If you're new to the channel and you want to help us grow, you can do it for free. Smash that sub button. You know what to do, YouTube. Stay awesome. Stay safe. We'll talk again later. Bye.